We all know that feeling, right? That paralyzing cycle of fear. It just freezes you.
Mm-hmm. Right before you need to act,
Mm,
maybe you chase something you really want.
yeah. And you look at people who seem to just do it, the high performers, and think, wow, they must be fearless.
But that's the misconception, isn't it? True courage, it's not about not having fear. It's about mastering it.
Okay. So they haven't gotten rid of it.
No, not at all. They learned how to process it, how to, stop it from calling the shots. They see fear differently
How so?
as, well, as misdirected energy. Fuel, even.
Oh, fuel. Okay, that's interesting. And that's our focus today, this deep dive into an ancient system that really codified this.
Exactly. The Bujinkan. It comes out of feudal Japan, and it views fear not as the enemy, but like you said, as essential fuel.
So our mission here is to figure out that process, the steps, mentally and physically, to face those really uncomfortable truths fear throws up.
And hopefully break its grip on your life.
Right. Let's make this real. Let's talk about James. Successful lawyer, outwardly,
Looked like he had it all. Good job. Nice place.
but inside,
Yeah.
total mess, just consumed by fear. Public speaking, confrontation.
Failure. Being exposed as a fraud. All the greatest hits.
Exactly. And he basically ran on that fear, overworking, mistaking that constant knot in his stomach for, like, ambition.
Mm-hmm. His colleagues probably saw this super driven guy.
But really, he was just running scared until he couldn't anymore.
Yeah, the inevitable crash. It happens.
Big presentation, huge client, and bam, panic attack, voice gone, shaking, sweating.
Oh, wow. Full meltdown.
Total catastrophe. He ends up hiding in the corporate bathroom, just sitting there on the floor. And that's when it hits him.
The ultimatum moment.
Yeah, destroy the fear or it destroys everything.
And that desperation, that's what led him kind of randomly to a Bujinkan dojo.
He wasn't even looking for martial arts, right? He needed an answer to the paralysis.
Precisely. And that first meeting with the sensei,
Yeah.
it completely flipped the script.
So James walks in, probably ready to explain his whole situation.
And the sensei, this apparently quite small man, just cuts right through it. Doesn't even wait.
What did he say?
Something like, you're here because you're afraid, and you want me to take that fear away.
Oh, direct.
Yeah. And then the kicker. If I took your fear away, you would be weaker.
Weaker. How does that work? I thought fear makes you weak.
That's the core insight.
Mm.
Fear isn't the flaw. It's information. Critical information. The flaw is how you interpret it.
Okay.
And this leads us to a really central Bujinkan principle, Kyojitsu Tengenyo.
Kyojitsu to Kenya. Right.
Mhm.
Sounds deep. How does that translate practically? For James, I mean.
Okay, simply put, your fear tells you something true.
Yeah.
Maybe there is risk. That's the truth part.
Audit.
But your body's reaction, the panic, the freeze, that's often based on an illusion. You mistake a possibility for a certainty, for reality.
So James's fear of public speaking, the truth is, people might judge him negatively.
Exactly. That's possible. But the illusion is thinking that negative judgment is like a lethal physical threat. His body reacts like it's life or death.
Which, when you think about the ninjas this came from, they faced actual lethal threats. Swords, falls.
Right. They had to distinguish real danger from just discomfort.
Mm.
We've lost that distinction in modern life. A tough meeting feels like a tiger attack to our nervous system.
Okay. But if that panic response is so hardwired for survival, why mess with it?
Because the wiring's outdated for our world. It needs reprogramming. And that training, interestingly, it doesn't start with punches or kicks.
No. Where then?
Breathing, controlling your breath. That's the first key.
Why breathing?
Think about what happens when you get scared. Your breath gets fast, shallow, high in the chest.
Yeah, that fight or flight thing.
Exactly. It triggers the sympathetic nervous system, floods you with adrenaline, survival mode.
So controlling the breath short circuits that.
It signals to your body, emergency's over. It bypasses the full-blown panic. And this is the first step towards what they call food ocean.
Food ocean. The unshakable mind.
Right. But crucially, it doesn't mean being rigid or emotionless.
Yeah.
It means conscious flexibility. Think of like the Zen idea of a tree in a storm.
The stiff one snaps, the flexible one bends and survives.
Precisely. Food ocean is about bending with the fear, staying anchored, not letting it dictate your actions.
So what was the actual technique they taught, James?
Very specific
Uh-huh.
and deceptively simple. Inhale for 4 counts.
Okay.
Hold for 4 counts.
Mm-hmm.
Exhale for 6 counts. Longer exhale.
6. Okay, longer. Why?
That's the key. That extended exhale specifically activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. It directly counters the panic response.
Oh, okay. So you're forcing your body to calm down.
You literally can't be in peak panic and deep relaxation at the same time. The body has to choose.
Yeah.
And then hold empty for 2 counts.
4, 4, 6, 2. Seems easy, but I guess doing it thousands of times.
That's the work. Reprogramming years of automatic panic response. James apparently thought it was too simple at first.
But he stuck with it.
He did. And the first real test wasn't in the dojo. It was at work. Tense conversation with his boss.
And the old feelings came up, chest tightening.
Yep. But this time, automatically, he started the 4-4-6-2 breathing.
And
It worked. The tightness eased just enough for his rational mind to step back online. He kept his voice firm, held his ground.
wow. So she wasn't not feeling fear.
No, he felt it. But he proved to himself and his body that he could feel fear and still choose how to act. That's the reprogramming. It's physical.
Okay, so breathing is the foundation. Control the internal state first. What's next?
Testing that control against external, well, chaos, basically.
Yeah.
Controlled exposure to discomfort.
The facing your fears part.
Right. Because avoidance, it just feeds the fear. Every time you run away, your brain goes, see, running saved me. That thing is dangerous.
So the Bujinkan flips that. You walk towards the discomfort.
Slowly, controllably, until the body learns, okay, I felt that and I survived. The alarm was false.
What did that look like for James? Sounds intense.
It does. He had to stand stock still, no flinching, while other students threw simulated punches, stopping inches away, kicks grazing him.
Jeez. Everything in him must have screamed, move.
Absolutely. But the only instruction was, don't move. Just breathe. Use the 4-4-6-2.
And this ties into modern science too, right? The brain adapting.
Directly. Neuroscientists, like at Stanford, have shown this works. Repeated, safe exposure to something you fear literally recalibrates the amygdala.
The brain's fear center.
Exactly. The amygdala learns, okay, this stimulus, not actually lethal. The fear response lessens over time. The sensei was doing applied neuroplasticity centuries ago.
James said it was incredibly uncomfortable, but knowing he wouldn't actually get hurt gave him that little bit of safety margin to endure it.
And he got good at it.
Yeah.
He reached a point where he could stand completely still, breathing steadily, while 3 people were simulating attacks all around him. Total chaos.
But his mind stayed clear.
Heart pounding, yes. Fear present, yes. But mind clear. He'd faced worse in the dojo than any tense meeting could throw at him.
Mm-hmm.
He could reframe the meeting as just discomfort, not actual danger.
Okay, so internal control via breath, external resilience via exposure. But there was more.
Oh yeah, the sensei pointed out there are 2 enemies, external ones and the internal one.
And the internal one is worse.
Far more dangerous. Because it knows all your secrets, all your weaknesses. This is where Shingai comes in.
Shingai. Mind, technique, body as one.
Yes, but you can't unify something this fragmented. You have to confront the pieces first.
So for James, that meant
Naming the secret fear, the one buried deepest, the one he never said aloud.
the fraud thing, feeling inadequate.
That he wasn't enough. Truly, fundamentally not enough. The sensei made him voice it.
Why? What does saying it do?
It makes it real. It takes it from being this invisible ghost controlling you from the shadows and turns it into an opponent you can actually face.
Okay, and how did he face it?
With something called the mirror technique. Another form of that kyujitsu idea, truth and falsehood.
Okay, what's the technique?
He had to write down all those fear stories, the catastrophic thoughts. I'm going to fail this presentation. If I disagree with my boss, I'll get fired, lose my apartment, everything.
All the worst case scenarios.
Every single one. Then, the hard part, question each one relentlessly. Ask, where is the actual evidence for this right now? Not the feeling, the facts.
And what did he find?
That something like 90% of those crippling fears, they were built entirely on assumptions. Possibilities he'd convinced himself were certainties. There was no hard evidence.
Wow. That really connects to cognitive therapy, doesn't it? Challenging distorted thoughts.
Absolutely. When you consciously challenge that catastrophic thinking, you engage the prefrontal cortex, the rational brain.
His CEO part.
Right. And the CEO can actually tell the amygdala, the panic alarm, to calm down. Hey, stand down. It's not a real emergency. James was using reason to turn down his own fear volume.
So, after all this, breathing, exposure, confronting the inner critic, he must have been different.
Profoundly. But theory isn't enough in the Bujinkan.
Yeah.
The sensei needed proof of action.
The final test.
This trial by fire. James had to pick his biggest fear, public speaking, and sign up for a major talk. Hundreds of people.
Oh, back to the original trigger. Did the old symptoms come back?
Oh, absolutely. Chest tightness, racing thoughts. What if I fail? It all rushed back.
But this time...
This time he had the tools, the breathing, The questioning, is this fear based on fact or feeling?
Mm-hmm.
The memory of surviving the dojo exposures, he could manage the symptoms.
And on stage, what happened?
The amazing thing, the fear didn't vanish. It was there. But he became so focused on connecting with the audience, on delivering his message.
That the fear just faded into the background.
It lost relevance. It lost its power to control him because his focus was elsewhere. The transformation wasn't about becoming fearless. It was about choosing meaningful action despite the fear.
That's huge, but does it last? Is he cured now?
No, and that's a critical point. Fear is part of life. The goal isn't eradication. This is the lesson of the eternal warrior.
Constant readiness, sharpening the sword.
Exactly. Maintenance is required. As James's life evolved, starting his own firm, getting into a serious relationship, new fears popped up. Of course they did.
But the system works for new fears, too.
The system remains the same. It's called bone flow with the wind. Adapt. Recognize the fear signal. Breathe through the initial panic. Question the narratives. Expose yourself safely if needed. Prove you can act anyway.
It's a process, not a destination.
Beautifully put. And the sensei's definition of courage sums it all up. Feeling fear and acting anyway. That was always the goal.
Not silencing the alarm, just making sure it doesn't dictate your entire day. Using it, even.
Like the ninjas did. Fear kept them alert, focused, prepared. It was an advantage when others froze.
And James, how did things turn out?
He opened his own successful practice, got into that relationship, lectures regularly, apparently quite well. The change was total inside and out.
His friends probably couldn't figure it out.
Nope. Looked like a miracle from the outside.
So the big takeaway here. The Bujinkan isn't just about fighting enemies. It's more like learning to dance with life.
That's a great way to put it. Fear, discomfort, uncertainty, they're part of the music, part of the dance. Freedom comes from knowing the steps.
Breathe, question, expose.
Yeah. And maybe the final thought for you listening is this. What if you spent your whole life running from the one opponent that could actually make you stronger?
Wow.
What if that fear you avoid the most isn't your enemy at all? What if it's the gateway, the path to the strongest version of you?
So the question becomes, are you ready to stop running? Ready to face that internal teacher?
Ready to feel the tightness, breathe through it, and act anyway. That's where the real freedom lies.